Hi, folks. Welcome to Cybersecurity Awareness TV. I'm your host, Mac Jackson Jr. We bring you information on cybersecurity practices, tips, and news that you could use to protect yourselves from the fastest growing crimes of the 21st century. And today, on April 6th, 2026, I have two amazing guests to have for you today with some information to share with you of how we are looking to help improve our community. So with that said, I'd like to introduce our two guests that we have for you today. We have Deval Clay and Richard Reyes. How you doing, you guys? Richard, Deval?
Doing good.
Doing great. Thanks for having us here.
Yeah, welcome to the show, Cybersecurity Awareness TV. I've been wanting to have you guys on the show here for a long time, especially Deval now for over 3 years. So finally, we got a chance to get together. And I just wanted to talk about business that Richard's put together and how, as cybersecurity experts like myself and Deval, able to work together with you, Richard, to bring community help across the country and hopefully across the world as well. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your company that you have established?
Yeah, well, thank you, Dr. Mack, for having us on here. I'm coming to you all the way from Florida as you're across the nation sharing the cyber training that you do. Yeah, I started Operation Positive Vibes out of not something so positive. I had gotten diagnosed in 22 with stage 4 colorectal cancer. Started out stage 3 and then 30 days later, stage 4. And surprise, I lived. And I've been in remission for the last 3 years. And ever since I got diagnosed, I've been going out and raising awareness. That's how we met at an event where I'm doing a briefing on like, hey, if you're diagnosed with cancer, it's not the end. Here's some things you can do that I did and others have done to fight through it. And what's neat about our story, Mac, is a lot of people are suffering in silence, right? Whether it's something's going on at home, maybe they're worried about their job, maybe their spouse, maybe they've got an illness like I had, and then it brings a lot of stress. And what happened was I got invited to a cybersecurity event, and they said, hey, would you talk about stress, mental health in the cybersecurity world? And then, boom, that's how we met, Dr. Mack, and here we are today.
Absolutely, yes. And I definitely feel what you're going through and understand it as well, because my mother is going through breast cancer as well. She's a survivor also. She's doing excellent right now. She's 87 and still kicking and going to church every Sunday. So yeah, absolutely. Blessings to you as well, Richard, and everyone. Deval, thank you, man. I'm really glad you connected us together with Richard and everything. And I wanted to talk about how, as cybersecurity experts as ourselves, what we can do and how we're looking to work with Richard and bring in a message of awareness, especially cybersecurity awareness across the country.
Yeah. So, well, just so everybody know, I've been knowing Mac for 3 years now. Mac is a very important part of, as a director at Texas A&M Engineering Extension for cybersecurity. Mac's one of my premier adjuncts. But, and I should say, I'm so used to calling him Mac, but he's actually Dr. Mac now. That he plays a big part of what we do there. He's one of our main adjunct professors and instructors to go out around the country and help protect critical infrastructure, communities, states, counties, helping city officials, everyone from not being hacked. So Mac plays a big part of that. So that's how I met Mac. We did an interview and he applied and reeled him on in and told him to come on in, right? Yeah. So about this, what we're doing now at Operation Positive Vibes, what people may not know is that Richard, for the last 20 years, has been, a best friend. We met in Pensacola, Florida, in church. And we'll partner up to do this program called Share Him, where we had to go and do evangelistic series in hotels. So, I'm in the military. I go on to my next stop and we go on, we still communicating and everything else. So it's time to retire. I go to Texas A&M, but every now and then Richard's like, hey man, come on over, man. Would you come work with us and all this and this? So once Positive Vibes started, Richard, if you don't know, to get to know Richard, his mind is like the Matrix. It's full blown everything. You don't know if it's red pill or blue pill, right? When it comes to Richard. And Richard's like, hey man, I think we can make this Operation Positive Vibes more than just, reaching out for people that are, going through cancer, stress and everything. We can make something big for the community, man. Like, cyber, why don't we bring that under the umbrella? And it took some getting used to see the vision. But now that I saw the vision, and as you know, Mac, April 30th is my last day at Texas A&M because I'm going full blown with Operation Positive Vibes to start this initiative for cybersecurity, which, again, as you know, the importance of awareness training when it comes to cybersecurity, that is the number one, and that's kind of like the bedrock of protecting organizations and yourself from being hacked, right? It's you don't know what you don't know. So if I'm a gatekeeper of what I do know, then guess what? It is my responsibility to give back to the community. And not only that, working with your best friends, starting something new and building something pretty exciting and new is pretty awesome. So that's how I am where I am right now. So.
All right, very, very good. Yeah, hey, absolutely. I'm excited too about this venture, this partnership we're putting together, going out and helping the community. I'm really excited about it. Duval, I would have almost texted you every day to find out what's going on and when to get started, because there's so much stuff that we have as far as the knowledge between the three of us that we can disseminate across the world and hopefully bring some kindness and compassion and empathy regarding health and regarding security and protection. So definitely looking forward to that, Richard.
Well, Dr. Mack, I've got to tell you, one of the first conversations you and I've had was talking about how children, young people, like I used to be, I still claim to be one, but how they're just being attacked through the internet, and they've got this device that is out there in the world. I would not let my 11-year-old daughter just open the door here at house or go down the street, but yet if she has a phone, she's already out there. And
that's
when
right.
You started talking to me about how kids are being exploited and the bullying, it resonated with me. Number one, I don't want that happening to my child, but we had been on school campuses talking about positive vibes. And, when you're talking to fifth graders and third graders and first graders, a cancer survivor, I'm not talking about cancer. What we're doing is we're talking about like, hey, what do you do if you're getting bullied? Who can you trust? And so we were encouraging them like, hey, talk to your teachers. Hey, talk to your principal. They're there to help you. And when I heard about what you were doing, it really resonated with me, Dr. Mack, because I'm like, well, while we're there talking to schools, universities, and Fortune 500 companies, they have children they need to protect. They've also got to protect themselves. And it's just like, it just made sense for us to all figure out how to work together. And so I appreciate you having us on the show. I'm really excited to see where this is going to go.
I am too. And I think the information that we have to share, especially I have to give credit to Duval as well. What I've learned from Duval over the last 2 years with his background, military background, has helped me out as well with my business. I have programs we call here in Las Vegas called Hacking the Human, and that's taking cybersecurity down to the human aspect of it, not just hardware and software, but the human aspect of it. And then we add our kids in it. Now we're talking about how hackers are coming after our children in order to make a lateral move, not between servers, but between children and the adults, to hack into the adults. So your program that you're putting together and things that we could do of educating the community about how to talk to their children, how to understand some of the risk out there, we can bring some goodness to the world.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, I've got to tell you just a quick little update. I
Sure.
won't drop any names on the internet because I want to wait until the deal is signed, it's official.
Yeah.
But we've got two major organizations. One's a big financial firm. You've heard of it before. They've got monies that rhymes with a T, like trillions. And then huge insurance company, over 150 years old. And both of them are talking to us about bringing Operation Positive Vibes in. One is for a series that Duval is going to lead out doing teacher talks, talking to teachers. Mm-hmm. And then another is also just bringing in some critical training to instructors and parents and to help with the youth. And, knowing someone like yourself, Dr. Mack, that speaks all over the country and has a worldwide podcast, radio show. I heard you're going to be doing a TED Talk. We told these two organizations about you. It's really cool to be surrounded by professionals that are smarter than me, and being able just to, I look at myself, Mac, is like, I'm like, the Lord saved me from cancer for a reason, and I'm a connector. So just like Duvall wants to serve, I want to serve. And so my resources, if they can help put you and Duvall in front of them to help other people, that's what we're here for.
Excellent. Excellent. So do I. Yes. Duvall, this is going to be a really good opportunity for us and for the three of us to really get out there and bring this message across.
Yeah, because, and you know how I feel about cyber. And I'm pretty much one of those, when I'm teaching cyber, I'm pretty much one of those, take out the guns, just like gunshot. I'm very straightforward.
Yes.
Honest about that. Because when it all comes down to it, it is the human element. You really think about it, right? At least over 85 to 90%, it is the human element. And if we can just get the humans to understand, regardless of what age, and if you really think about it, you want to start young.
Yes.
Start young and make this, as we in our profession, Mac, we call it change culture. If we can just get the change culture started early, I think we can help just not only families, communities, organizations, just to have people coming in with some sense of knowledge. And I think that's where we lose it, because as well as that, adults, when you're trying to teach them cybersecurity on top of what they're doing at their regular job, they're like, what is in it for me?
Right.
I have to do my work. I don't have time for that. Right? But the way I tend to develop, trainings and courses is because, I do it with the sense of giving them some stake in the game. Like, hey, this is how you can protect yourself, your family, your homes, and all of this stuff from being attacked and everything. So imagine now if we can start at the lowest denominator. Not only that, I was working on doing trainings today. Only the one thing we are trying to bridge the gap to is the parents and the kid, right?
Right.
Because what's the one thing we always hear? You were on this side, give me your phone. We in the cyber world know the deal, what's happening. Okay, you take their phone, good. They go to school, and what does the friend have in their locker? The burner phone.
The burner phone. Yep.
And you just made the situation worse. And we're trying to bridge the gap of, okay, how do parents and kids work together with it, right? And be a part of it, and like do social media together. How do we get through these things? Because as well as I do, cyber's not going away. Cell phones are not going away. AI is not going away. None of this is going away.
That's right.
And so I think that what we're trying to do at Operation Positive Vibes is not only, as Richard said, train the trainer, we're trying to train the parent.
Yes.
How to train their kids when it comes to, and how do you bridge that gap between parents and kids working together with it? The last thing you want is a kid that's upset that you took their phone and they can't communicate, and they go to school and the friend is like, here's my phone, just log in, do what you need to do, and blah, blah, blah. Because that happened. That's for real. That's real.
Absolutely. It seems like the parents are playing checkers at home and while the kids are playing chess.
Yes.
When it comes.
Yeah. And the funny thing about it is, you're right. As a parent, you want to think that you know more than your kids, right?
Right.
And we're talking about life experience, wisdom, yes. But when it comes to tech, kids are born into it now. Like us being 70s kids, like we were born into the tech and the video gaming world, right?
Right.
But these kids are literally, in the Matrix, the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Where they went and just popped them out of the thing.
Yeah.
In the back. They're literally born into it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Half of these kids were even born by AI or from a robot doing something, delivering them.
Right.
So that's where we're at, man. So
yeah, it's very true. We are kids, and I think a lot of it is the parents' fault, but it's the parents' love for their children and want the best for their kids. So they'll say, I bought a router for my home remote system. I don't know how to plug it. Let me ask my 12-year-old nephew or niece to plug my router in, because they're so smart with computers. and they're giving this responsibility to the kids are thinking, wow, my parents are giving me responsibility. I'm going to show my mom and dad that I know how to use this stuff. And we're saying, yeah, my kid, boy, he's the one that can really do it. You would never, that same parent would never will say, I just bought a brand new Glock, right? Nope. ACP-45. Let me give it to my 8-year-old because he's really, really good playing video games, and he'll use it to protect our family. You would never do that. Yeah. But the power of a computers are almost just as bad as having a Glock in their hand.
And I'm glad you say that, because you know what that's kind of like? No one would ever do that, Matt.
Right.
Because why? We see what the gun can physically do. We see it. Mm-hmm. What parents can't comprehend is that with cyber, you can't see the attack. You can't see the predator.
That's right.
You can't see it. So this is a whole different type of monster we're dealing with. You know what I mean? And parents are proud when they see their kids excelling in tech and all of this, but they don't fully understand it. Like,
right, they don't.
What is my kid doing? You know, I heard somebody at work at A&M say, yeah, their kids are really, really good at it. And then they found out their kids was like literally wiring all the security stuff in their house to where they were able to bypass the camera, not do anything because it was all wired in the house. And I'm like, yeah, that's a smart kid, you know?
Yeah.
So
I'll tell you to a little story. I think I mentioned this to John, our producer, a few years back. We had in my company a client that contacted us through law enforcement that their daughters, 2 daughters, 14 and 16, they had $10,000 added to their checking account for 6 months, right? So the parents were like, well, how did you get this money, 10 grand in your checking account? You know, we watch our kids, what's going on? And it turns out they put together a webcam like OnlyFans, right? And put together. So when the forensics came out and looked at what they were doing, it was so innocent. All they did was to have a video of the girls painting their toes on the weekend, like what kids do. There was no facial, nothing sexual, just their toes. These girls made 10 grand every month for 6 months because of the predators and the guys that are out there on the internet. But the parents had no idea this was happening. They just noticed that the girls were dressing a little better for school and had this extra money that they thought it was allowance. But they never told their parents because they knew that their parents would not approve of it.
Right.
We have to educate parents to be involved in every aspect when it comes to apps on a phone, a laptop. They should be able to know everything about their kids. And there's ways to do that. There are lots of third-party companies that are out there in the world that can literally make the parents into hackers, ethical hackers, that is. They can monitor their children and watch any type of texting that they're doing. If they're texting someone, that parent will also get a copy of that text message instantly as it happens, so they can also monitor as well. So just things like that we want to bring to the attention of parents and give them more power and control of monitoring and protecting their kids.
Well, you know, Dr. Mack, I appreciate you bringing up the third-party software. I received a phone call from a buddy of mine. Our children go to the same school, and he goes, I got to come over. And we're sitting down on a Friday night, and he let me know that an app that he put on his children's phone, it alerted him that his child was thinking about doing self-harm, and he was devastated, but he was also grateful that he installed this app and he's able to get her help. And guess what? Now they've got dogs and cats in the house, and she's doing well, and they're very tight, but he had the wherewithal. Someone told him about this app and he got it. And, you know, I believe the stories that you're telling, the story that I'm sharing now, this is what people need to hear, like real life applications, just like, you know, Deval's talking about the predators there that you can't see. Well, you know, as you know, it's not until you see something or something experiences you personally that people take it seriously. And that's what we're trying to do by being on your show. It's like, it's not about us with Operation Positive Ops. What we're trying to do is like real life knowledge that's been shared with us and share it with the community, just like you're doing, Dr. Mack. You just want to help folks and, you know, hopefully save lives. And I've been hacked before, personally, business-wise, and that's another connection I have. It just happened, and our accountant found it, and fortunately, we got it stopped. But tell you, as you see this financial event happening, and it's like ding, ding, ding. It's not like the stock market where you see your account growing up. It's the other side of the stock market. It's like, holy smokes, and there's nothing you can do. And
Right.
so we've talked about the danger of it, like physically, but then there's that financial that can literally wipe someone out overnight.
Right, exactly. And then we have the other side of the equation, the elderly. The elderly are going through a similar operation too, especially the ones that are sick. They're in the hospital, they're recovering, and they are exposed to by predators and scammers and fraudsters. And you know, I found out, just pause there for a second. I found out through law enforcement, words like scammers and fraudsters is a better language when we're speaking to the elderly. Because when I speak to my mother and I tell her what I do, she tells people in her church, when I take her to church every Sunday, she says, yeah, my son works for the CIA. And his boss looks like our cousin. Me and you, Duval, looks like one of my cousins. So that's how my mom talks about it. So I was at a meeting with one of our FBI groups, and they were saying, just change the language. When you're speaking to the elderly, just call it, we work on prosecuting scammers and fraudsters. Now she understands. So now she tells the parishioners at her church, and our pastor comes out and he says, oh, I understand you work helping fight against scammers and fraudsters. Ah, okay. That's easy for them to understand. I'm like, yes, that's what we do.
Hey, you got to speak the language people understand.
Yes, absolutely.
You know? I hope a lot of people get to hear you doing your shows, Dr. Mack. Like after I met you with Duval, I can tell you that Duval is a connector. He's like, I've got a guy that you got to meet. And he took me right over to meet you. And that's where I learned about, like I said, with the first story, the children. So what you're doing is important. And I want to encourage everybody to get people to, like, follow, subscribe to your show and tell their friends, because you're going to learn something every time you're on here.
Absolutely appreciate it. So tell us, what is the next step that we can maybe be able to tell the public of where the company is going to move, and what's our next move, how to get people can find information about the company?
Absolutely. Well, fun fact, we've got operationpositivevibes.com. You can go to the website and you can message us on there. Now, we're going through a total rebranding to launch the cyber initiative, but it doesn't stop there. We have a big event coming up in Texas in July where Duval is going to be running 2 cyber courses, and I'm going to be a speaker at the event. We definitely can put that information out to your community, share with you a newsletter, Dr. Mack. Also, we're booking more virtual events. I just, as I'm sitting here at the house, I do a lot of speaking. Like we were at Embry-Riddle, we were at Texas A&M. We're going up to New York in just a couple weeks, but the power of the internet. So as we put our content together, so online events, we'd like to share them with you.
Excellent. Absolutely. Definitely be able to do that. Just send me information you have, and we'll definitely promote it on my social media and all of us, and getting the message out. Not a problem. Not a problem at all. How about you, Val? What else can we do to promote what we're doing here? Any message that we can send out to people? When's the next event? Things that are going on?
Yeah, well, we got one big event. Somebody I know is going to be on a TED Talk. That's big. And like Richard said, because of what we were doing and the connections we were making, I will tell you that I did throw your name out there quite a bit on some stuff. And just knowing that you're going to be on a TED Talk and we're telling people, hey, look, we got a TED Talk guy here, that's going to be talking. That's a big thing, to be able to let the community, like people, just because you know how big TED Talks are, they're big. Yeah. To let people know what we're doing, and that we're just starting, man. The good thing about Richard and I think alike. Sometimes we both have to be reeled in by somebody. We start thinking big and everything else. We want to just what we're doing is just the tip of it. Eventually, we want to do some cyber training, period, like constant, in our building that we're having renovated in Jacksonville, Florida, to be able to do some cybersecurity trainings. But that's down the road. And, one thing I would love to have, Matt, that is I built the cyber range, for TEACS, for Texas A&M. I love to build another one,
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. So that we can bring in those organizations, those big organizations that Richard is connected to, right? To say, hey, look, we can craft up, we got a cyber range. We can craft up anything. So whenever you get a new new employee or new people, hey, send them down here. If you just want your whole team to take a big trip down to a cyber range, we can create that cyber range that will mimic your network, and we can attack it and see how they do and whatnot. Practice.
Absolutely.
And I'm all about having fun. That's my motto.
That's right.
All the times, right?
Yes.
So, and that's the good thing with having fun. You're more creative, and also surrounding ourselves with people like yourself to give us those ideas and stuff like that. Because that meeting we had with you at Fish Daddies in College Station, right?
Yes.
Sextortion rung a bell in Richard's head, because Richard that's the one thing he's been talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, look, about the sextortion. He's like, look, we got to do something about this.
Yeah.
And so those type of things like that, when it comes to cyber, it's so broad, but it's so many ideas and things that we could do to do our honest part and honest role in this, So
very good. Very good. Well, I'm excited about it, folks. I'm excited about you guys and getting this together. So let's do that. We are definitely planning some things. We will talk again. We'll do more interviews like this, more videos, and we will get public information out of the next event that's happening with our group. So hang on, guys, for a minute here. We're going to go ahead and end our show, but thanks again for joining us today on Cybersecurity Awareness TV. We'll be right back, folks, after these messages. Hello, folks. This is Mac Jackson Jr. from Vanderson Cyber Group. The problem with businesses today is that they are affected by cyber attacks from around the world, but companies are not sure of what to do. Normally, they are reactive instead of proactive. But folks, cyber attacks can affect your bottom line, and it will affect you financially, legally, and your business reputation. Here at Vanderson Cyber Group, we can help you develop a policy by training your employees on what to do if they are involved in a cyber attack and how to mitigate it and fight against it. Folks, we call it here #StayCyberWoke. And that's Vanderson Cyber Group here in Las Vegas and around the world. You can reach me, folks, at VandersonCyberGroup.com or my website, MacJacksonJr.com as well. Here locally, 702-868-0808. Give us a call today, folks. We must fight back.
If you want attention, you need more than an ad. You need a presence. Welcome to WWDBTV, your internet streaming TV station built for business and people. We create high-impact commercials and video podcasts with pro production. Then we help distribute your show where audiences already watch and listen. Your brand, your story. Broadcast ready. On streaming, on social, and beyond. Ready to be seen? Visit WWDBTV.com and book your production today.
Hey, folks, thank you for joining me on Cybersecurity Awareness TV. Man, we have a lot of good information here for you. Please join us every week here on Cybersecurity Awareness TV on Roku and on YouTube, where we're bringing you tips and techniques on cybersecurity protection and awareness. So until next time, folks, I'm Dr. Mac Jackson Jr. Stay safe, folks, and stay aware. Bye for now.